Hi everyone. I haven't vlogged in a very long time. Certainly not in the past month. um, because a month ago, exactly to the day, my apartment was flooded from a neighboring apartment that had its pipes freeze and burst from a really cold day here in New England. So I'm not going to get into that because, oh my God, that's been like my life the past month. And oh, by the way, yes, I did have surgery and I haven't vlogged in, I guess, like 5 weeks or so. I can't even think of timing because, like, I had the surgery at the end of January to fix my reconstruction. I'm feeling like crap. So I'm like, this is a perfect time to vlog when I feel like crap. My loo problem's coming up, and that's why I'm pretty sure that and the overdoing of everything is just catching up with me. But I did want to just come on here because I I vlogged about poop and then just kind of left everyone hanging. That's even with like neighbors to know. Like my last vlog there for a long time was like, here's me in my pajamas at my apartment, which isn't my apartment anymore. So whatever you saw in the background is not the background you're going to be seeing anymore. This is not my place either. But anyway, so let's rewind to the matter at hand. So the end of January, I had my surgery to fix the reconstruction for my double mastectomy. And I can't even recall what I said in my last vlog, so I'll just do an overview for right now. I was healing well the first week after. It was funny that I was talking about poop and what to do to help you use the bathroom and stuff. And meanwhile, since this whole debacle has happened with me being like uprooted, I think I've lost probably about 10 pounds in like anxiety and just running around. My phone said to me today, your average number of steps has increased substantially over the past 4 weeks. I'm like, no shit, Sherlock. So I was healing well for the first week. And then life happened. We had a very cold day in New England, and I'm not going to go into super detail about what happened there. But I had to, like, forget that I had surgery and evacuate my apartment pretty quickly. Like, shit just happens sometimes. And I'm grateful for my friends and my tribe that helped me out when everything was going on. It's funny because I talk a lot in these vlogs about the people that like were there to step up and help, and people I expected would be there to help me when I was diagnosed with breast cancer and weren't. Sorry, I'm just reading a text. And I feel like I toy with like the idea that everything happens for a reason versus things just happen because things just happen. Depending on what day of the week it is, that's how I feel about when things happen. Because holy crap, like, did I need to like be uprooted and find an apartment like pronto a week after I had my surgery? It's crazy. So anyway, so I was healing well for the first week. The whole pooping thing was based on the oxy. Clearly, once all this crazy happened with me with my apartment, I couldn't be on the oxy because I had to like pay attention. The oxy like works well as a pain reliever and stuff, but if you've got to pay attention, I mean, for me, it almost makes you like high as a kite, and I can't be that way when I'm trying to make like life decisions, about like, where do I go? What do I do? Most of my stuff was trashed and the apartment flooding. So anyway, and it was funny because, actually not funny. It was interesting because when I saw that my apartment was flooding, I was told to grab whatever I immediately needed or what was like super important, and then get out because the water was accumulating on my ceiling, and it had been probably for hours without me even knowing because I was in my living room. I'm like, my kids had just left to go back to college, and Barb had left, and I'm like, oh, I got the apartment to myself now. I'm gonna watch TV on the couch and chill out. So I don't even know if it was raining in my room. Not raining, but like if it started leaking in my room, I have no idea. I was in the living room. Anyways, when they said to like grab stuff, meds, my surgical bras, and my laptop, and then I left. And I'm not going to get into that, like I said, all of that, but it's just you realize really fast like what's really important, and a very like in like that. I mean, it was extraordinarily fast. I did end up going to plastics after about a week or so to get more of the white surgical bras with a zipper down the middle. I tried getting one because I did have a Lupron like right after it happened. I stayed at a friend of mine's house for the first week, but I had I remember having the Lupron, and I was at my friend's house, and it was just kind of, I was grateful that she let me in because I didn't know what to do, and then the insurance got involved. But it's not hard, it's just interesting to heal in a space that's not your own space. And even now, like I'm still working on having my own space, and my next Lupron is in a couple of days. And I just want to be able to just like heal in my own bed, but my bed is completely destroyed from water. It just makes you realize like all the things that you have that you take for granted. So anyway, where I am right now is not my own bed. All the sheets are white because they're hotel sheets. And someone who got lost in the whole hubbub, because when they said to grab things that are important, I have my concoction of like my however many different pillows I have. Although as I'm saying that, I'm noticing that I'm laying on my left side, which is good because I haven't really been laying on my left side much because it hurt. So I guess that's good that doesn't hurt. I think I'm just distracted because of the Lupron and I just feel tired. But I saw Tex on the floor in my room, and I went to go grab Tex with my left arm. Most of the work that was for this surgery was done on my left side, and I couldn't pick up Tex. There was just water pouring out the vents in my ceiling, and he was too heavy from the water, and he had to get chucked. It was like rusty water sitting inside of pipes, so like he had to be chucked. And I don't even remember if I did that or somebody else did that, but I tried to pick him up to take him with me, and it hurt so bad because I didn't know he was that wet, and I went to inadvertently just use my left arm to pick him up, and I couldn't really reach, or definitely not have the weight on it, and it hurt like a lot. So I just let it be. And fast forward, someone did send me another text, which actually is it's still in the shipping stuff. I haven't opened it. But in the meantime, my friend from, I've known her since middle school, sent me a care package, and she wrote like a note or something like, it's not text, but I hope it will do. And she said something about Harry, and I started this weird discovery of Harry Styles, I guess. And I thought it was Harry Styles, and then I open it up, and it's not Harry Styles. It is, where's the front? It's Harry Potter. And I'm like, how appropriate. This is little, I don't even, it's like a squishmallow. It's really small, but he fits very comfortably underneath my armpit or whatever I need him to be. And I'm like, it's very appropriate because Harry Potter lived underneath the staircase. So, and when all this stuff happened, I'm like, wow, I don't have a home right now. How apropos. I don't know. Anyhow, but yeah, I lost all my clothes. It's a whole long list of crazy. And, I'm here. Nobody got hurt. Everyone is safe. But it did slow down my healing quite a bit. So, especially with work, I'm like, I'll be back in 4 weeks because that's the plan. Like this should be, the surgery is nothing like what the mastectomy was like, and like I should be fine. Like, who the hell knew that a pipe was going to burst? And the reaching and the picking up of things and stuff that just had to be done. Oh, God, I have a hot flash right now. I popped a stitch like 4 times. That freaked me out. The surgical bras from Plastics are white. Oh my God, where's my fan? Oh, I need to buy a second one of these. It's so hot. Oh my Lord. Sorry, I know my video is like awful. This is just the reality of like where I am. I've been doing too much, and that's what it is right now. My body's just off because Lupron is coming up, so just bear with me until this passes, because damn, I'm hot right now. This will be Lupron 17, I think. With all the crazy, I lost track. It's either 17 or 18, and it's out of 24, so I have to call my gynecologist, actually, because she's the one who started me on the Lupron, and see what the plan is. As far as I know, the plan is like taking me off the Lupron after 24 times and seeing what happens, and praying that like I don't get my period and I'm in menopause and we can just move up our happy little lives, and that's that. My glass half empty thinking is like, people tell me I don't look my age, and I feel like my body's gonna say, yeah, you're not ready to be in menopause yet. But I don't know that, so I have to just wait and see. Anyway. Lupron shit's crazy, but I've done it 17 times or whatever it's been, so. And I think I need to buy a second one of these because the fan I have for work was rained on, so can't use that anymore. I'm not plugging in fans that perhaps were soaking in water, because I don't feel like electrocuting myself. So yeah, so I popped a stitch like 4 times. I don't even think, oh my God, the heat's on. Seriously? Holy shit. It's just from, I wasn't even doing a lot, honestly. I was sitting in a chair and I was just like pointing to stuff and saying like, keep, get rid of, donate, like whatever. I don't think I really was doing a lot, but my body was telling me to slow the hell down. And it's like, how do you slow down when you have the time constraint of like finding a new place to live? It was just, oh my Lord. Okay, I could complain all day, but that's not what I want to do. So the gist of stuff with the surgery and where I am. So clearly not on the oxy anymore. I think I still have like 2 pills left, but I haven't been in pain since I've been listening more to my body, so I haven't needed them. Sorry that I'm all over the place here. My face looks so big and chunky. I swear I've lost weight. I'm very happy with the results of the surgery. I have cleavage again, which makes me so, so happy. When I looked at myself, here, let me sit up a little bit. When I looked at myself in the mirror, or not even the mirror, like laying down, I could look down at myself, and I saw like what boobs are supposed to look like. It's like 2 bumps. And they're symmetrical now. They weren't before. They are now. I think I went into before exactly what he did. I don't even know if I did, because I don't know if I knew that by then. But they took the implant out, and there was no hole in it. There was no leak in it. I got the hospital notes and read through everything. There was no leak in it. So he was right. I was wrong. Shocking. But I didn't know, really, and it was the sling that the implant was sitting in. So he brought it basically over 2 centimeters and up 2 centimeters and like cut into it, and the same scar I had before, which actually makes me happy too, because with the pushing it over and up, my left boob is higher than my right one now, which I'm not worried about at all, because when I had the surgery to begin with, your boobs are high, and then over time they just, they start to sag again. So I don't even know. I've been much more protective over these than when I had my original mastectomy, plural. Because I feel like I shouldn't need to have another surgery, and like these should be the ones that are good to go. And I'm much more protective about who's going to be looking at these. Um, so, because I can't remember, maybe Barb saw them. I don't remember, but my scar is actually thinner than it was before. I feel like he, with like him like basically moving it over and up, he cut into the same scar, and I think he just like pulled when he pulled it back together again. You could see before when it was hanging so much that like the scar was kind of getting pulled, so it was like wider than my right one was. So I'm happy that's not the case this time. So what is it now? It's the beginning of March. It's the very beginning of March. I had the surgery then in January. I don't like wearing the surgical bras now. They help for the sides. Oh, the lipo I had to tell you about because that was a pain in the ass. They help with the sides because of the compression and stuff, but the zipper in the middle, now that I have boobs that are centered, the zipper in the middle is actually bothering my scars. So I bought more of the True & Co. I have a white or this nude one and a black one, and they truly are the best bras to have after all this. I just don't like the seam on the sides, and that's where the lipo comes into play. Sorry, I'm not comfortable like in any position, and like this is what happens with the Lupron, and I'm just counting down to how many more I don't have to have done. Yeah, so he brought it over and up. When I look down, it looks great. When you look at me, my left one is higher than my right. And he said, that's just what it's going to look like. You can't expect perfection, which I understand that coming from a perfectionist standpoint. But I also know that like my skin is still the skin of a 51-year-old. So I find it hard to believe that it's going to stay as high as it is right now. Like I remember when I had the double mastectomy in the first place, like how high they were, and I was like, "Holy cow, these are high!" And he's like, "Don't get too excited because they'll settle over time." So my right one clearly is settled. They didn't cut into anything with the right side. The only thing they did on the right side was the lipo, as well as the left side, which I'll get to in a sec. But it does look higher. Having said that, what's it been like 5-6 weeks or so? And I'm already noticing the left one is dropping a bit because it doesn't look starkly as uneven as it did. And it's only been 6 weeks. So I imagine that they're going to be the same, what do you call it? The same, length, whatever you want to call them. There was a lot of surgical tape on them. Oh my God. And I can't remember where this was with my last vlog, but after surgery, there was a lot of surgical tape around my left boob. A lot. I feel like it was just like holding everything in place and it needed to be there, and I understood. It took me a very long time to get the blue inky stuff off too, because I didn't want to scrub, obviously, and there was just way more drawings on me than there were even the first time through. I guess because he's, thinking this is the last time that I'm going to have the surgery, so, have to make sure that everything's okay. The lipo, man, it's not even like the boob part that hurts. Weirdly, I have more sensation in my left boob now than what I had before. I don't know if that's because he pulled stuff up or in or whatever, and like wherever there were nerves that were working are now like closer to the center of my boob. But it was just something I noticed that I'm like, I can feel the center of my boob, which is just weird because on the right side I can't. The lipo, oh my Lord. If you have this done, I used to associate lipo as like this hoity-toity thing that people have, or, that it's like this totally elective thing and it's just a piece of cake. I had no idea, what lipo looks like after it's done and what it feels like after it's done. Holy shit. So, my right side, they did lipo just a little bit. It wasn't a lot, mostly because I had 6 lymph nodes taken out of my right side. And I feel like wherever the lymph nodes were taken out. It's like my body was kind of pulling the skin in a little bit. So it just wasn't like a nice, you know, round boob on the side. It would be like round with like a thing that pulled in. I've since learned that they have like certified people that can massage. My mastectomies were so long ago that it's like too late to do that. But they can massage in a certain way, but you have to have someone who's like qualified to do it so that that doesn't happen with your, if you have lymph node removal. So there wasn't a ton done with lipo on my right side. I did not have drains. I think I said that already, which was great. So with the lipo, they, it was weird. Like on my side, there's a hole, like a hole like where they stick in the little suction-y thing. It's almost shaped like a J, but not as scooped, I guess. Yeah, not like a J like that, just like a J, almost like a half a boomerang or something. And then they put this thing on the side of you that honestly, it looks like a ravioli. It looks like a ravioli with like 3 puncture things on it. But I've seen like video of liposuction when they stick this like tube in and they go like back and forth to suck out the fat and stuff, and it just looks disgusting. But that like back and forth motion is like a lot on your body. So I did that to the right side to fix the lymph node stuff like pulling. The left side like just didn't look right, which is why I went in for the surgery to begin with. Now it looks pretty, like it's rounded on the side. Like I don't know what magic, like I don't want to be a plastic surgeon, but whatever magic he did to figure out how to do that. But the left side of my boob is like a regular boob, not a regular 50-year-old boob, like a regular boob. It's rounded. There is one spot where there's like a line going left to right where my old scar was. They told me to massage it with Aveeno or something like very gentle. So I've been doing that. I still, this far out, my stitches haven't all dissolved yet, which I think is interesting because I feel like last time they were dissolved definitely by now. And again, maybe it's the hubbub. Maybe there's something with extra blood flow or something because of all that's been happening with me personally. But my stitches still haven't dissolved, which I find weird. Most of them are, but not a lot. And my scar is only like, I don't know, yay big or so. It's like half my boob and over pretty much. But the same scar that I had before. There isn't like any extra parts that he cut. So that's the boob part. And then the lipo, again, there's a dot on the side where they put that little like thing that like suctions all the gunk out. And then I had that like ravioli looking thing on the side. The ravioli thing isn't a big deal. The first alarming thing that you'll notice if you have liposuction, maybe at all, but certainly with this, is the bruising. Like, holy shit. The bruising, I kind of freaked out. Because it's not even like black and blue. Like, well, I shouldn't say, it's not like black and blue like when you get hit or something. It is literally black and blue. Like your skin turns black. And it's like a fucked up rainbow of color, like black, blue, purple, red, you know, as you're yellow as it's kind of fading out. And it looks like I mean, it scared the bejesus out of me when I saw like what was going on. And I'm thinking like I overdid something, I did something wrong. And then I start Googling, which I know not the best thing to do, but it was on a weekend when I noticed what was going on. And that's just normal. That's just normal for what happens with lipo, is that you're extremely bruised and it takes time for it to go away. I have mild discoloring now because the stitches popped a few times. Like obviously that little, but it's like a dot. It's not very big. It just is healing, taking longer to heal. But the discoloration on my right side, I think, is pretty much gone. If anything, it's like that yellow color that you get when, like from a bruise, you know? But it's definitely not the black. I mean, it was like black and like dark blue. It was disgusting. And it's shaped in that same kind of shape. It's like a, almost like a crescent moon, but it's not quite as curved as a crescent moon. I'm not, I like algebra, not geometry. So yeah, that was alarming. But then when I saw the pictures and stuff, I'm like, okay, I guess this is just what it looks like. So then I wasn't as shocked about the coloring. There was obviously inflammation, which, happens. I figured was normal. They sent me home with the pink bra that has the hook things for, not hooks, but the little things that come down that you would attach drains onto, but I didn't have drains. And those, like on the side, because you could use that bra if you had drains, they're open on the side and there's a Velcro piece that goes across. With the lipo, that's not comfortable at all. I noticed that, like, because my boobs, like, they weigh more. I can't even remember what my old boobs felt like, but I feel like the implants in general just weigh more. And I feel like they were pulling my bra down in the front, and which was making it come up in the back. And it was just, the angle was bothering me, bothering the liposections like a lot. And that was when I finally went back to plastics and asked if I can have those white bras, because they have no seams on the side and there's no openings on the side. It's just like straight, like a stretchy, like spandex kind of material, but thicker. So it was great to keep, like, to keep everything kind of suctioned in. And I had clothes that I could wear, like I had tank tops that I could have worn to help with that were like tight to help keep things in place, but they were all gone. My insurance company came and took my clothes. The ones that could be salvaged, they took and clean and sanitize, and the ones that can't, they just throw away. So I didn't have stuff. And like, obviously was overwhelmed with everything. Now I did get those same tank tops, but, yeah, I just went to plastics and asked for 2 of those bras, but then it was bothering me with the zipper in the middle. So the lipo on the left side, after the coloring, like, scariness, it got, the area that, like, that scoopy area got really hard. Like when you press on it, it was hard. And that also scared me, because I wish they would give you a book, like, here's what could happen afterwards. Don't freak out because this is normal or whatever. But especially my left side, both of them did, but my left side, because there was more work done on my left side, it got really, really hard. And that made me worried that something was like infected or something, because it was so hard. I did reach out in the gateway. I didn't hear back from them right away. I guess because they knew it was normal, but like I didn't know it was normal. But that's what happens with lipo. And again, not that I recommend Googling at all, but when I didn't hear back from plastics, it took like 2 days for them to get back to me. I looked it up and it said that that's what happens, that like the skin or whatever's underneath gets really, really hard. And then just over time, it starts to soften. And they said it could take like months, like 4 to 6 months. I don't think mine's going to take that long, because I've already like noticed a stark improvement. I mean, the swelling is almost all the way gone. It's not painful when I touch it. It's sore. But I've been listening a lot more to my body. And that one spot where I popped the stitch, man, that spot still hurts. And it's my left side, so you think it wouldn't bother me, but like I was doing something and I was like turning to the left a lot. And then over like time, I'm like, damn, that like really hurts. I'm like, why am I in pain? I took 2 Tylenol and I haven't needed pain meds in a really long time. It was just from the twisting. It wasn't anything big. I was on a chair and I just like turned like 3 or 4 times, and then it just was bothering me. So another example of just listening to your body, and when it starts hurting, you have to just stop doing what you're doing. And that still means like even now, like I have 100,000 things to get done, but like I had to stop because I'm tired and I've been doing things, and my arms hurt and I just had to take a break. I was watching TV. Apparently I fell asleep because I looked more put together this morning, but I fell asleep watching TV, and I'm like, my body's telling me just to slow the hell down. It's weekend. We're actually having a snowstorm right now, so it's time to slow down. So if you get the hardness and stuff, again, not to be super concerned. It is very alarming when you feel it. But like I said, the swelling's gone down so much. And what's amazing after all of this, and again, like, 5 or 6 weeks out, whatever I am, well, it was February, so probably more like 5 weeks out, is that my sides look like normal sides again. I feel way more feminine. I don't feel like the science experiment of like putting pieces together again and trying to like form me back into like a human being again. It's amazing. Like, I don't know if all plastic surgeons are as amazing as mine is, but what he did with my sides and the lipo and the shaping and whatever the hell magic he did, my sides look like normal sides again. And again, like, I've been stressed out, so I've lost weight mostly because of anxiety stuff and the rushing around and whatever. But my pants now are too big, which is a good problem to have, being that I gained so much weight after I started the meds. So I just feel more like feminine and more like a woman than I have since all this shit started, which, gosh, we're in March, so it's almost 2 years ago. April, May, June, July. It's almost 2 years ago. God. I did sign up to walk in Runway again in October, which was cool because like I get to walk Runway in my new boobs, which should be my final boobs. And when he was pulling, I could laugh now, but I was not laughing then. When I went a week after surgery for my follow-up with plastics, and I don't think I was at that point. I feel like I was on like day 6 or something last I vlogged. But I went for my week follow-up, and he pulled the tape off. And holy shit, did that hurt. I was in some serious sensory overload, like hardcore. There was so much tape on there, like just keeping things in place. And he starts pulling it off. And then he asked me about my tattoos and stuff because he wants me to schedule an appointment to get my tattoos done. And I'm pretty sure he just said that to distract me because I'm like, tattoos? I'm like, Jesus, I'm a week out of surgery. I'm not even thinking about the tattooing right now. And then he starts ripping, and I was like, ah! And I start cursing. And I went in on my son drove me, but I went in on my own because I've, done that before. And I took the nurse's hand, and I was like squeezing it so hard because it hurt. And then he's like, we're all done. And I'm like, no, you're not. Like, there's still stuff in between my boobs. And he's like, oh, I miss those. And he goes to grab them and pull them off. It is literally like pulling like really thick Band-Aids off all around your boob. Oh my God, it hurts so much. I can laugh now, but I was not laughing then. I was when I got home, I was in wicked sensory overload. I remember that day exactly because I left, I was in the apartment, and every noise seemed like super loud. Everything I touched was bothering me. Everything was just, I was in wicked sensory overload. And I left my apartment and I went across into the clubhouse of where I don't live anymore. And I sat down in a chair that had like a footrest thing. And the assistant property manager came over and put the fireplace on. And I took a book to read. I think I read like a page of that book, and that was it. But the picture of it, and my son came in and took a picture of me laying like that, and it looked so serene because it's like my feet are up, and I got the fireplace on, and it's well decorated and stuff, and it looks so chill and calm. And then like literally, that was I think on it was a Thursday, and then Saturday is when the pipes burst and all the mayhem began. So you look at that picture and it looks so like chill and like, oh, look how lovely and warm and inviting that looks. And then 2 days later, it's like mayhem. But yeah, the sensory overload, clearly with the pipes bursting, if I had it, I wasn't thinking about it enough because my adrenaline was kicking in a little bit too much. So I can't really give any commentary as to what happened after that because I feel like everything was thrown for a loop because of the whole situation with the burst pipe. So that was awful. Yeah, I don't want to go into too much detail about that, so I'm just going to stop that there. So where I am now with healing, I'm able to lay on my right side just fine. It's interesting when I sleep because now my left boob can actually sit on my right boob, like how boobs are supposed to be. And my left side, I mean, I was just laying on like you saw, but I have not been able to lay on my left side. With having to find a new home, I just ordered a new bed I'm hoping it's delivered on Monday. And I got one of the beds because, like, I'm old. It's not even just the old. It's just like I started snoring after the cancer diagnosis. And I don't know if it's because of the weight that I gained from the medication or if there's something else going on. Like, I did have a sleep study and they said you had sleep apnea, but I feel like whenever you go for a sleep study, they're going to tell you you have sleep apnea. So I do have an appointment in a few months to find out about that. But either way, I got one of those beds that like it elevates like the back and stuff and your feet. Because if I'm elevated, I don't snore as badly as I do if I'm flat. And I think it will help too. I had a wedge. A friend of mine let me borrow her wedge pillow. I've never been comfortable with a wedge through any of the surgery stuff. I don't know why. I just, they're too upright. I've tried so many systems of wedges and none of them are comfortable. I can use it for a short period of time, but then it doesn't really work. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. Like, I know people swear by wedges, but I don't find them comfortable. So yeah, I think that's where I pretty much am right now. I have my Lupron on Tuesday. I think it's either 17 or 18. And then I'll have my follow-up with my gynecologist to see what the plan is after that. So, yeah, the rest is the same. Nothing really going on. So, like, if I don't vlog for a while, it's just because there's really nothing, like, new that's been happening. My Zometa, it will be in, like, what, June or July or something, which seems like forever from now. But even that, like, last time, I never even got a fever from it and stuff. So it's like, that was my third Zometa. And I only have 6. So, I'm halfway through that. And as much as it sucks to have it, I hear so much from people that are on Lupron or that have had a breast cancer diagnosis that complain a lot, I mean, rightfully so, but complain a lot about their joints and their bones and that the bones are weakening and all this stuff and they're getting arthritis and whatever. So as much as the Zometa sucks at the time, I don't feel arthritic, and that's the whole point of why I do the Zometa injections or infusions. So I'm happy that my oncologist recommended that I do them. So there was an Austrian study, in case you didn't catch that part of the vlog. There was an Austrian study that said that if you get Zometa infusions, it counteracts the likelihood of you getting osteoporosis or osteoarthritis from the tamoxifen. But I hear from a lot of people that are on Lupron, and I actually know now a lot of people that are on Lupron that tell me that it's the same thing with the Lupron, that they have joint issues. I will give a shout out to my Brooks sneakers because when I was like leaving my apartment, the shoes I had to be trashed because they were like smelly and nasty. But I did buy a new pair of Brooks sneakers and they are great for my Achilles, but I still need to have a heel every once in a while. I'm gonna have to like buy new shoes because my shoes are all kind of toast. But having a shoe with a heel, like when my Achilles does feel tight, if I wear a shoe with a heel, it relieves the pressure off of my Achilles onto the ball of my foot, so it doesn't hurt as much. Again, I can't wear heels for like too long, but like a chunky heel I could do for a couple of days and then I'll go back down to like the Brooks or whatever. I don't even have any dress shoes or anything. I have to go back to work soon. My leave was actually extended by 2 weeks because my healing was going slower. And they don't need to see me. My stitch, I haven't had any bleeding in a while. Because I haven't been moving anything anymore. Everything's out of that old apartment now, so I don't have to, I don't have to worry about that. So it's been more of a listening to my body thing, which is, I guess, where we're getting the vlog about, like, morals of the story here. Health is number one over everything. So much doesn't matter. And like, I've been through a lot of stuff in my life and I'm like, come on, really? Like I've learned so much already. Like, what am I not learning? And I did pick up interesting like bits of advice from people. Like I started going to church, and I'm like, I had communion twice, and that's more than I've had communion in probably years. And I'm like, what am I missing? Am I missing something? Am I doing something wrong? Like, is there something I missed that I did wrong that I have to repent for? Like, I don't know. I'm like, I don't understand why I'm being hammered with all this shit. Like, I know I'm resilient, but come on, like, I could use a fucking break. I did buy a Powerball ticket, and I haven't checked the numbers yet, but I haven't had knock on wood, I haven't, I haven't had a great, I think the most I won on Powerball was like $3 or something, but who knows? I could have $1 million ticket in my purse. My moldy purse. My purse that's growing mold because it was in my closet. Anyway, so, yeah, I'm achy and just tired and stuff. And I know once I have the Lupron, like the day of, I might feel kind of weird, but then like hopefully the day after that I'll be better. I'm usually okay after a day after the Lupron. And then we keep going, keep following the path and see what happens. Morals of the story that I've learned from all this crap, mixing in with the stuff that I complained about a lot through the whole cancer process. Same thing with the flood. Some people, I guess one thing that I will say that was has been a lifesaver for me in many ways. When I found out that I was diagnosed with breast cancer, I asked people, when I realized that the people I thought were going to help me weren't even reaching out at all. Some I still have not even, most actually I haven't even talked to since everything happened. Only 2 people that I thought should help, one family, one friend, actually had a conversation with me recently about all of this stuff. The rest just kind of disappeared. But I don't take that personally, because when I hear or I share or people watch these vlogs, they tell me the same thing happened to them. And I'm like, that's just crazy. It's crazy, not crazy, but it's just, it floors me that you can know someone and be close with them for like 10, 20, 30 years. And all of a sudden you get breast cancer and it's like, boom, they just stopped talking to you. And I guess one moral of the story that I've learned from that is, everyone has shit going on. That doesn't make it okay to like bail on your friends. I'm just saying that everyone has shit going on. It's just different kind of shit, and people don't all go on YouTube and vlog about it, so you don't necessarily know what their shit is. So I guess one of the things is just to be forgiving with other people. It doesn't mean you have to like have them be your best friends. It's just that there's no room in my space for hate. I'm very much about like being around people that are going to be fueling my energy and making me feel nice. If I don't feel nice when I'm around you, then I'm not going to be spending time with you. If I feel nice when I'm around you, then I want you to be in my space. I mean, that seems so simple, but like, it doesn't matter like, oh, I've been friends with them for this long, or I haven't been friends with them for this long. It doesn't really matter. I've become friends with people recently that like I didn't even know before, and almost feel like, like one of them said to me the other day, I love you. And I'm like, I love you. Somebody else that her place was flooded out. And it's just like, I've been living in that apartment for so long, and I'm like, I didn't even know her. Anyhow, everyone has shit going on. It doesn't make it okay when they like abandon you or whatever, and abandonment issues, are tough. But that doesn't mean that you have to hate. You just have to find the people that are going to be around you and just focus on those people and not focus on the people that you don't have. So what I was saying was that when I found out I was diagnosed, I started I asked people like, who wants to help? Instead of me being disappointed, I just threw it out there. Who wants to help? If you want to help, let me know. I put together a group on Facebook Messenger, and I was being funny, and I called it my SOS group. And at the time, it was for things like there was a Sign Up Genius for meals and like groceries and stuff like that. But the SOS group was like last minute kind of things, like, oh, my kid has a concert tomorrow and I don't have a shirt for him, or like I have to pick up my meds and like my arms are exhausted. Small things that just like randomly came up. So I've had that group, and I hadn't posted it in a very long time. But when all this crap happened with my apartment, I'm just watching all of my life belongings get drenched. And I'm like, I need help. And how, Facebook is great and it sucks at the same time. One thing the thing it's great for is getting a hold of a lot of people in a short period of time. So I went to that messenger group and I don't even remember what I said. I like burst pipe, water pouring in my room. Please help, come. Like, don't even call, just come. And I think it's all a blur now, but within like 15 minutes, there was like probably 25 people in my apartment. Most of them not my super close friends. And it happened on Saturday, which has a weird fortunate thing because people weren't working. So people came in and started moving stuff out of my room into my kids' room, so it was away from where the water was. I mean, over time, the water ended up spreading, but there was somebody who was at the airport and saw the message, and she was picking up her son from the airport, and she came from the airport with her son. And people were wearing masks, so I wasn't even sure, like, who was who. And I'm trying to, like, figure out who the voices are so I can remember to say thank you. And I was an emotional mess when that was happening. I mean, clearly why, but I had that group, and when I sat on the couch because I started hyperventilating. I sat on the couch and like I had two friends next to me that were helping me breathe and be calm, and I'm grateful that I know people that can help me with that. And then other people were just like moving stuff, and they're like, all you have to do, Jen, is just sit and breathe, sit and breathe, sit and breathe. And I'm just, there's a million thoughts in your head about like, what should you be doing right now? But my body was in so much pain. Oh my God, I was in so much pain. And like just the working up and the blood flow and stuff and my blood pressure going up and all of that did not help with my surgical sites at all. But then to see all these people, and it's not always the ones you expect that are going to be there. Sometimes it's just these people that come because they come and they have big hearts. And the biggest thing I think that I get with the pattern is I can't assume anything, but I feel like if you've gone through a lot of shit yourself, you get it. And you want to help other people because you've gone through shit. I think when people disappear, sometimes, not always, but sometimes, like, they don't know what to do. They haven't had stuff like that happen, and they don't know how to help you. And the easiest thing is just to kind of, like, disappear. And it's not because they hate you or that they're mad at you. It's just they're uncomfortable with the whole thing. And that's them. Okay. But if that happens to you, I mean, my biggest, like, heart moment here for any of you that are, like, newly diagnosed with breast cancer or whatever, and you're like, why is my mom not calling? Or why is my best friend not calling? And they should be doing this, and this one should be doing this, or whatever. And you're wondering why all that's happening. You have to focus on the people that are around. And sometimes they're new people. And sometimes they're people that you didn't, they might have been acquaintances before that you don't really know much about. And then they come in and they step in and, like, save the day. That's what you have to focus on. That's the good that's in this world that, like, I learned that, but I guess fought a lot because still had the expectation that, well, this one person should be helping me and this person should be helping me, but they're just not. And then when you're seeing your life, like, get flooded away, and you also see all these people in your home that are helping you, that's the good that you have to remember is out there. Instead of trying to focus on why is the bad happening, focus on look at the good that is happening. That's what you have to focus on. That's what's going to get you through all this stuff. That's who your tribe's going to be. And it's going to alternate. It's not always going to be the same people. This person that saved the day last week might not be able to next week, and that's okay. It's a matter of being, like, forgiving and finding the good that you have, like, right then and just focusing on it. I know that sounds very cliche with being in the moment and everything, but it's super important to get, like, they're all blips in time and you don't know what's going on. You gotta just, whatever good is coming in your plate at that time, that's what you gotta take. And if it lasts, awesome. And if it doesn't, there's still good in the world. So I have faith and hope that although my life looks a little weird right now as I'm in a hotel room for my backdrop, but that it is truly going to be all okay. Geez, like, I had breast cancer. Like, what? Where'd that come from? My home is just like demolished. Like, it's not livable. You have to go find a new home. When? Now? What? It's crazy. And there's good around you. You just got to focus on the good. I'll leave you with that cliche moment. All right, so if I don't vlog for a while, it's truly because not much is going on. I'll have my Lupron for the next couple of, months, obviously, but surgically, I'm not going in for a follow-up. My follow-up is 3 months from when I had my original surgery, so 2 months, I guess, pretty much from now. I don't really know what he's going to say differently. I'm sure there'll be a conversation about the tattooing. And I have decided that I don't think I want to do the nipple reconstruction because I've heard nothing but not good things about them. So I'm going on a lot of websites and stuff, and I know there's that woman in Canada and stuff, like, about the tattooing, but I still want to get a tattoo first. That's not a nipple tattoo because I don't want my nipple tattoos to be my first tattoos, but whatever. It is what it is. Can't control everything, says the control freak. I'm way less of a control freak than I used to be. Alrighty, I'm going to go and relax and just chill because I'm just pooped. But it was good catching up with all of you, and like you're talking back to me. What's going on with you? Yeah, I so appreciate the comments and stuff and the support from all of you out there, and helping each other too with comments back and forth is just wonderful. The Facebook page, I really haven't put anything on, I don't think. And I did do a Neighbors to Know, which I think I mentioned last time, and I had a really tough time when I finished, so I feel like I'm not even sure if I want to be in front of the camera in that capacity anymore either. So, yeah, just what I said with the Neighbors to Know thing is just to be patient. Right now, all I can do is like social media stuff, but honestly, I have to focus on me and my healing and my life right now and pulling it physically together. Emotionally, my life is great. I just need a home and a bed to sleep in. Maybe a couch would be good too. Anyhow, it will all come along. All right, everyone. Until next time. Bye.